Well, I guess I messed up with my intro, so here it is.
Aaron.
Here.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
All right, that's a little bit better. Guys, just when you thought the saga was over, it's not. Someone done messed up. Danny Masterson done messed up. His attorney, Kate Mangels, done messed up. Scientologist Mike Schuppan done messed up. And it does look like we're talking about some violations of federal crimes. How do I connect all these dots? First of all, in the video that I did yesterday about saying end of the road, Masterson's going to prison, I described how the problem of all of Danny's missing weapons was resolved and how it got resolved. And that now that it had been resolved, Danny was off to prison. In that video, I said, my God, isn't it like really coincidental that Danny's weapons that were all purchased and registered in California somehow ended up being turned into a gun shop in Oregon that's only about 20 minutes away from Scientology's prestigious private school, Delphi, the Delphi Academy in Oregon. The weapons were turned into a gun shop in Lafayette, Oregon called TJ Gun Sales. And I sort of was like, what's the deal with this? Is this gun store, owned by a Scientologist maybe? Guys, it turns out, what a small world. The owners of that gun shop happen to be huge fans of SPTV. And I got an email yesterday saying, oh my God, please no, we are absolutely not Scientologists. We're huge fans of the show. And let me just, let me actually read this to you. I got an email from Troy Ribble. I am the owner of TJ Gun Sales in Oregon. Just watched your video, wanted to contact you about it. My wife and I watch your videos every single day. We're big fans. I just wanted to let you know we are not Scientologists and are in no way affiliated with them or their school in Sheridan, Oregon. He says, we had no idea these guns were owned by that shitbag rapist, Danny Masterson, until I watched your video. Let me know if you have any questions. And so, of course, I had a lot of questions, but let me just show you something real quick. This is a document that Danny Masterson's team turned over to the court. It is basically a form of Danny Masterson granting his brother, Jordan Masterson, sole rights ability. Well, let's just read it. Danny Masterson hereby designates Jordan Masterson to have power of attorney for the purpose of transferring or disposing of my firearms. This power of attorney designation is only effective for 30 days from the date of this designation. Interestingly enough, you'll see Danny signed it September 20th. His brother didn't sign it until October 12th. What I find interesting about this form is, first of all, that it was necessary. So someone had to have legal authority to dispose of Danny's weapons. Danny gave that authority to his brother, Jordan, and that power of attorney actually expired before any of these weapons were turned over to the gun shop in Oregon. Now, there's something else that I'm going to show you here. Okay, here is a redacted form. This is the actual form that Danny's team turned over to Deputy DA Reinhold Mueller and to the judge. This is the list of the weapons that were turned over to the gun shop, along with the date that they were received. You'll see November 28th. You'll see Jordan Masterson's power of attorney had already expired prior to November 28th. For some reason, the customer name was redacted. No reason, no explanation was given in court for why this name needed to be redacted. But it sure was, Danny Masterson's team sure did create the impression that it was Jordan Masterson who had disposed of these weapons. Well, I happen to get my hands on an unredacted version of this form where you can see Michael Schuppan is actually the person who turned over these weapons. Who is Michael Schuppan? He happens to be one of Danny Masterson's best friends. Both Michael and his wife are second-generation Scientologists. Michael Schuppan was present in the courtroom for the closing arguments of Danny Masterson's second trial. So, if Michael Schuppan had these weapons all along, Why did Danny give his brother, Jordan Masterson, power of attorney to dispose of the weapons? Did Mike Schuppan actually have these weapons all along, or is he only now pretending to have had these weapons all along? I have permission to share with you more information from these emails. So I'm not going to share the emails, but I'm going to share with you information from the emails. So, because I said to him, I said, it's crazy to me that these weapons ended up all the way up in Oregon when they were owned in Los Angeles. And he says, yes. By the way, he said, I don't usually give out information of customers, but because this guy lied to us about whose guns these were and why he was giving them to us, I don't mind sharing some of this information with you. He said the story that Mike Schuppan gave us is that Mike was moving from Tennessee to Oregon and needed to store these weapons until the move was completed. And he did, by the way, give a Tennessee driver's license, which I thought was interesting. He said that he's a musician and he moves around quite a bit. We told him that he would not be able to get these weapons back from us until he obtained an Oregon driver's license, which he was okay with. Now, by the way, I also don't mind showing you. Where's the webpage that I'm looking for here? Gosh darn it. Okay, there it is. Okay, I'll share this with you here. This is Mike Schuppan's website. So he is a musician, a producer, mixer, engineer. That part of the story does check out. Okay. Mike also mentioned that he got these guns in Tennessee from a friend of his that was going through some legal problems. And this would help with the paper trail, turning in the weapons, would help with the paper trail showing that these weapons were no longer in his friend's possession. How would Danny Masterson have given all of these weapons to Mike Schuppan in Tennessee? Do we think Danny Masterson drove with a car full of weapons from California to Tennessee to give these weapons to one of his besties? I guess it's not impossible. There's just one other piece of information. He said a lot of these weapons are illegally modified and are illegal to own, meaning have modifications that make them illegal to own in California. And he told me that if Danny had transferred these weapons to another person in the state of California, that would have been highly illegal. And that a majority of these weapons are simply illegal to own in California, in their present condition. Okay, so let's see. There's parts of the emails I'm not going to share just because it's not relevant to the story. Yeah, he said some of these weapons are not California compliant, and if Danny owned them in California, he would have been breaking the law. Okay, by the way, he said the crew at the shop loved how I made fun of the way Daniel spells his name. So I want to show that again just for fun. Okay, let's see. Let me pull up the right form here, guys. Thank you for your patience. Oh, please. I hope I still have that thing where Daniel spells his name wrong. Well, he spells his name right. Okay, here, this is what we're talking about. Okay, this is the contract, the storage contract between Mike Schuppan and TJ Gun Sales. And I guess let me try to zoom in on this a little bit here. Okay. Now, by the way, this contract, I did clarify with Troy that Mike Schuppan did not sell these guns to TJ Gun Sales. They're just in storage. And I guess this is one of the things that made this story even crazier is when I first was reading up on this, Danny Burns, you see Daniel Burns, Danial Burns. Danny, I'm sorry to tell you, your parents made a typo on your birth certificate and you've just been having to be, that's not how you spell Daniel. Okay, so one of the crazy things, so many coincidences here. Not only is it sort of a coincidence that these guns from California ended up 20 minutes away from a Scientology private school. But also, there's a very well-known Scientologist named Danny Burns. That's one of the reasons that's one of the first connections I had to, oh my God, it can't really be the same Danny Burns, right? And then when I saw how Daniel Burns spells his name, I knew it most definitely was not the same Danny Burns. Let me see. Is there anything else? I'm just looking through these emails here. Is there anything else? Kate Mangles, one of Danny's attorneys, by the way, just happens to be the daughter of David Miscavige's attorney. No, pure coincidence, I'm sure. Kate Mangles is going to have some explaining to do here. Jordan Masterson is going to have some explaining to do here. I don't know. Does Danny really have any explaining to do? The guy's already in prison for much worse things than breaking federal gun laws. Mike Schuppan is certainly going to have a lot of questions to answer here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Schuppan was going to be getting a call from some federal authorities. If Mike Schuppan really had these weapons all along, Danny would have known that and never would have given Jordan Masterson power of attorney to dispose of his weapons. Also, Kate Mangles represented to the court that Danny Masterson had absolutely no idea who had these weapons or where they were located. And then one of his best friends ends up being the one to turn them into a gun shop. Now, because I don't believe Mike Schuppan has actually had these guns the entire time, where would that lead? Like, how would these dots connect if that was the case? Could it be that Jordan Masterson knew exactly who and where these guns were, and the fact that they were illegal to have in California has something to do with why nobody wanted to, stand up and say that they had them, or even claim that they knew who had them, and that perhaps they simply know that in Tennessee, theoretically, if Danny had transported these guns to Tennessee and transferred ownership to Mike Schuppan in Tennessee, that technically that would not break the law in Tennessee. So they sort of had to back into this story. Oh, by the way, I live in Tennessee and I got these guns from a friend of mine and And now, like, Mike Schuppan has not had these guns. That's my opinion. Because anyway, if I keep talking about it, I'll just keep repeating myself. Yeah, a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions to answer about this. Laws have been broken here. And yeah, I'm sure after I finish this video, I'll think of 3 things I wanted to say and I didn't say, but I guess that's it. M. Riordan, is that Mike Riordan from Clearwater, Florida? Good, sir. If it is, great to see you. Thank you for the super chat. And we have Quirkalopagus, love the name, was tickled to hear that you like my screen name, AA Run. Another great live as always. Thank you very much. SBTV Tattoo Warrior, our lawyer friend Zach is live now. Get him over here. Oh, well, that would be a little sloppy, but you know what? This is something I should dig deeper. This is a subject that Zach and I together should dig deeper on tomorrow. That would be amazing. All right, guys. Yeah, I wish I'd done more videos today. It's Friday after all. I was being lazy all day, but I did do a fantastic chat with my good friend Tommy Scoville over on the Lifeboat. And I want to show you guys real quick. This is Tommy's channel, The Lifeboat. He's blowing up on YouTube right now. And we did a fantastic discussion over there, somewhat having to do with all of the stuff that's been going on the last few weeks. And I think you guys would really like that chat. So if you're looking for some more, something more to crave your SPTV, your SPTV cravings, to fix your SPTV cravings, jump over to the Lifeboat. We did a chat for a little bit over an hour. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right